Yeah, if you think you're going to do it in your own strength, then you know what? Yeah, you can do it.
COVID, it's been helping people move their businesses from offline or brick and mortar to online.
Systems are more important than skills as an entrepreneur today.
It's totally okay to reinvent yourself multiple times, especially when you're an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Profitable Coaching Conversations with wendyybailey. If you're a coach, speaker, or industry expert, you're in the right place for sales and marketing wisdom and insight to grow your coaching business. Now, here's your host, Income Acceleration Mentor, wendyybailey.
Hey everyone, welcome so much to Profitable Coaching Conversations. I'm so excited to introduce you to our guest for this episode, Penelope Jane Smith. She's been in her business about 14 years, and she's bringing a wealth of experience to her business. She's not just a coach. She really does help women entrepreneurs become financially free. We're going to dig into what that really means, and I'm excited to share her with you. She is a financial freedom expert. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, what that means too. Hey, Penelope, how are you?
Hey, Wendy, why? Excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you. I love that you've come into my life at this point in time in my life because I get to show you off to people because you're so talented and amazing at what you do. So tell us a little bit about what you do. When you say you help women become financially free, what does that really mean?
Yeah, so financial freedom means different things to different people, and there's kind of like a spectrum all the way from being able to pay your own bills and support yourself. Like there's freedom there, right? Sure. If you pay off all your debt and don't owe anybody money, there's freedom there. If you own your house free and clear, there's freedom there. So there's this spectrum. And my goal is to lead people along that spectrum so they have more and more freedom as they go along. And then the ultimate, the way I see it, is when your investments generate more than enough income to pay for your lifestyle. That's like the final milestone, and like the financial freedom I'm ultimately wanting to guide people to, because when your investments cover your lifestyle, you don't have to work for money. You work just because you love it, you know, and then you're in a place of making choices from freedom and joy and from your heart instead of debt and obligation and, oh, I have to do this.
Yeah, I love that. I really, really do. Because I think there are a lot of people, women in particular, that are on that spectrum that are not nearly where they want to be, you know? So I think the work you're doing is amazing. How did you get here? Like what brought you to this space and place and time to do financial freedom mentoring?
Well, I actually had the vision of becoming financially free back when I was living and working in Japan, and I decided to do that through real estate. So starting with $10,000 of my own money, over the next 4 years, I acquired over $6 million in real estate.
Wow.
35 properties all around the United States. And I was on track to be financially free, to be able to retire by the time I was 31.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Before you go on, I got to ask, what is it that at that age, like how old were you?
I was late 20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were in your late 20s. Most late 20 people, I'm not saying that right. Most people who are in their late 20s don't really have the foresight for that. How did you happen to have that?
Well, I think just my journey of when I was little, I had this entrepreneurial spirit. Like I would sell cupcakes to my mom's clients, and I would run little contests for the other kids at school. And then it kind of got like beaten out of me by school. They were like, you've got to build your resume, and you got to get good grades, and you got to go get a job. And so when I was living in Japan, I was feeling like, oh, this is like my last bit of enjoying my life before I have to go do all of that for the next 40 years. And I was at this bookstore near the Kisarazu train station, and they just happened to have a few English books. And I was attracted to this book with a purple cover and yellow type, and it was called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it was in English by Robert
Kiyosaki.
Yeah. And I read that book, and it was like, oh, there's another way. There is a way that's different than what I have been told, than what has been pounded into me in high school and college. And then I went, like every chance I got, I took the train into Tokyo to the English bookstore and got like all the books that I could carry on the train about real estate, stock market, network marketing, investing,
Wow.
money management, business, like accounting, you know,
All
corporate
kind of sources of income.
everything. And I was like reading and reading and reading and reading. And I distilled this all to, okay, like when I get back to the United States, I want to learn how to invest in real estate. I want to become financially free. I want to run my own business. I want to help other people or other people learn how, because if I don't like this whole, okay, just go commute to a job for the next 40 years, I bet there's other people that don't want to do that either.
I love it.
That was the spark, right? And so then I did build my real estate empire. And then I lost it all in the 2008 crash. So
Wow.
yeah, I lost my beautiful home to foreclosure. I remember we were in escrow on a property. We were supposed to have like a $400,000 payday. That fell through at the last possible minute. And so it became this kind of like daisy chain that just lost everything. And I was like depressed and anxious, and I eventually was forced to declare bankruptcy. So I went from being almost financially free to millions of dollars in debt, bankrupt, losing my home. I was like terrified that I was going to come home and find the locks changed and my pets trapped inside. So I was like scrambling to find a place to live.
Wow.
And as you can imagine, I was depressed, anxious. I suddenly understood those stories of Japanese businessmen flinging themselves off buildings when the market changes, because I was like, oh my God, like I've borrowed money.
In a second, it's gone.
Yeah, I've borrowed money from all these people, and now I can't pay them back. And you know, the only thing I could think of was like, maybe if I died, like life insurance would pay them, you know? So that was really, really hard.
So we're talking maybe 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So you've built your life back. Tell us a little bit about how you've built your life back.
Thank you. I always had this passion for supporting other people around their finances. And when I lost everything, I realized, oh, there's some things I don't know, right? Like I didn't have good cash flow management skills. I didn't know that was a thing until I didn't have it. And then I realized, oh, there's this skill set I don't have. And what helped flip the switch for me, Wendy Y, was I decided to, instead of being depressed about me, I started looking at like, how can I support other people? And I went to this workshop where the facilitator stood in front of everybody, and he said he wanted to single-handedly turn the economy around and win a Nobel Prize for it. And I thought, wow, that's really inspiring.
I like it.
What could I do to turn the economy around? And he offered this $50,000 mastermind on Richard Branson's private island in the Caribbean. And you have to understand, I did not have the money to like eat, right? I didn't have credit because my credit was a train wreck. But somehow, like when he talked about this mastermind, I got this intuitive hit, especially when he said the date, because it started on my birthday. And I got this like, you are supposed to be there. I was like, how am I going to come up
Right. How am I going to do that?
I'm going to come up with 50 grand in 4 days. Like I can't even get Chinese food, you know? And so I decided to like tell my inner critic to take a break, and I came up with as many ideas as I could possibly do for how to work it. I'm like, okay, what could I sell for $50,000? How could I sell 50,000 things for $1? How could I sell, 5 things for $10,000? Maybe I could like, sell some lazy asset, or I could, give a percentage of my company for somebody to sponsor me, or sell off some of the bonuses, or like, so
you just overflowed with ideas. I love it.
And then 4 of those together worked, and I got there. And it was on that island, everybody's having like a casino night down in the main cabin, and I was up on the crow's nest, the very top of the island, sitting with this, like, what could I do to single-handedly turn the economy around? And I got the download, Wendy Y.
Of what you could do to impact to turn the economy around.
Exactly.
Wow.
So what I got was, everyone has their own personal economy, and then there's the economy at large. So my personal economy was in the toilet, right? But there were other people on Necker Island that were having their best year in business ever. And
of course,
people who were rocking it, and I knew people who were losing their homes and businesses. And I thought, if I could support enough individual entrepreneurs to shift their own personal economy. And there's been all kinds of studies shown that when you support women entrepreneurs to be more successful, it has this incredible ripple effect in their communities. So that's part of why women But if I could support enough individual entrepreneurs, then we would hit a tipping point. So I started making microloans to women entrepreneurs in third world countries. I started working, doing
In third
workshops.
world countries?
Yeah, because I wanted to have a positive global impact right away. You know,
Okay.
so I started
Okay.
doing microloans in countries I'd visited, especially like Tanzania, Kenya, Peru, but like anywhere that I thought was good. And then I also started doing workshops in the United States to support women to, you know, attract more clients because that was something I was really good at. So I became really more passionate than ever about supporting women to avoid some of the painful mistakes that I've made.
Sure.
And then also to, if they've had challenges, because a lot of people have had challenges, to kind of like dust themselves off and rise like a phoenix from the ashes,
Resilience.
I
Yeah.
have, right? So that's why I'm so passionate about it. And that's how I got so into supporting women to create financial freedom.
Wow. I love your story because there
Yeah.
are a lot of women out there who need you. And then to hear you say it's women in third world countries was one of the areas that you focused on. I'm like, wow. You really were intent on changing the impact of the economy, the world economy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I still do that. And I'm working on starting my own nonprofit to actually amplify that even more.
Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. So what was the tipping point for you in the last, we're talking 11 years. What was the tipping point for you when you said, okay, yes, I got the download. Yes, I'm doing it already. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Because some people get distracted by bright, shiny objects. And you seem very focused in what your plan has been over that period of time. So when was that tipping point that you were like, you know what, I'm focused. I don't see the bright, shiny objects. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm helping people. I'm saving the economy for a lot of people, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think that the tipping point was that download on Necker Island. I was like, here's what I'm doing. And the first thing I decided to do was take that experience of Necker Island and bring it back with me to California. So I'm like,
Okay.
how can I give people back home the access to this information, to these trainers, these experiences? And so some of the like experts that I met on Necker Island, I brought to California to lead a workshop. And so people could learn from them live without having to invest 50,000 and
Yes.
travel the
Yes.
Caribbean, right? So I think that like that really was a tipping point. But I think in terms of avoiding bright shiny objects, before all of that, I had done a series of personal development trainings where I flew back and forth to Salt Lake City, Utah for a year. And in that series of trainings, one of my biggest takeaways was being very clear on my life purpose. And I was clear that, you know, I was here to be a mentor, I was here to be a teacher, I was here to help, you know, people around their money stuff. And so I've never wanted to do anything else. So like, you can't really distract me from what I'm most passionate about. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I was reading I'm reading a book right now and I started reading it yesterday and it's on Audible. Why can I not remember it? I can't remember the name of the book. So great, so good, they have to work with you or something like that is the name of the book. And one of the myths this guy dispels is it's really not about passion. Like people
Interesting.
say, yeah, it's interesting. I realized I was listening to it in the car when I was driving, and I said, this is a book that I need to have in my hands because I need to be highlighting and making notes in the, you know, in the margins and that kind of stuff. But one of the things he said is there's a myth about follow your passion and the money will follow. And I don't know that I agree with him. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so
Based on your personal experience, of
the
course.
first question was like, how do I avoid bright, shiny object syndrome? And I do sometimes try different things to see what works.
But
But
that's part of the how.
nothing,
That's
nothing
not the
is gonna,
what,
but nothing is
right?
going to distract me from my passion because it's what I'm passionate about. You know, I mean, if I tried to run some kind of business that wasn't what I actually wanted to do, I might get easily distracted from that. So there's that part, and then there's this other part of can you make money with your passion? So I think that if you are doing something in the world, whether it's a job or your business or whatever, if it's in alignment with your life purpose, your skills, you know, who you are, what you love to do, your unique ability, like it's more likely to be successful, right? I think it's hard to be successful without that. And then on the other hand, just because you're passionate about something, if you're going to run a business doing it, you also need an effective business model, right? Because the skill set that it takes to deliver a great service or the passion it takes in something is different than the skill set that's required to run a business doing that thing, right? So it might be that you love baking pies and you bake the best pies in the world. So you have high passion, high skill set for delivering the thing, right?
Right.
But to run a business that sells pies, that's a totally different thing.
Totally
right?
different. Yeah.
So just because you have the passion doesn't mean you have the business skills. And I actually went and invested in myself to develop the business skills because I knew I had this vision of myself that I wanted to be on stages, like speaking to people, leading events, writing books, creating info products, but I had no idea how to do any of that. And so when I went to a workshop where the trainers made an offer and said, we teach people how to speak on stages and, create info products, I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what I want to do.
Exactly.
And so even though it was like way more than I had ever invested in a program before, and even though I had like put my credit card at home and like not signing up for anything, I was like, how can I not?
I still know that number. I'm going to buy it anyway. Yeah.
Right. And this is what I've been asking for. And so I did, I've invested a lot of time and money in my own education to develop those skills over the last 14 years.
Sure.
And, I've probably invested at this point, I'm a little scared to say this, but probably about $500,000 in my education.
I don't, why does that scare you to say that?
Because I feel like I don't want people to think that they have to invest that much to be successful. And I guess, some things worked better than others. So I'm like, well, was it foolish of me to invest in that thing? But like, sometimes you just don't know, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
So what's the advice to viewers and listeners who are like, well, I don't have $500,000 to invest. What's the advice to them? What's the nugget to them that you've learned so that if you had to do it over again, you would use that decision-making nugget to choose wisely, more wisely maybe than before. Does that make sense?
How do you choose a mentor?
Yeah. How do you choose what programs you invest in? What do you say to the listener and the viewer that says, wow, I want to do it right. Can she tell me how she chose right?
Yeah. Okay. So when you're thinking about investing in your business specifically, or like investing in general, right? You want to get a return on investment.
Sure. Financial concept.
The thing you have to realize is that there's always inherent risk in any investment, just like there's always inherent risk in life. Like every time you leave the house and get in your car, there's a risk you're getting in your car.
That's right.
There's no way to not have risk. You can have all your money in cash, but you're still actively invested in cash and you're losing money to inflation. Right? So there's it's just there. So the other thing is that you never have all the information that you need to make a decision at the time you need to make it.
Yeah.
So what
you just have to assume the risk.
What you have to do is say, I'm going to make the best decision I can with the information that I have, and then deal with what emerges.
Yeah.
Right? And so with that, if you're looking at, okay, I want to get a return on investment if I'm going to invest in myself. And as a business owner, what's cool is often like the highest ROI you can get is investing in yourself. I think you should also invest in things like, real estate and mutual funds and, whatever fits your investment strategy, like stuff that's outside of your business. And the kinds of returns you can get in your business is just absolutely wild. Like that program I mentioned that taught me how to launch my speaking career. The initial program I did with them was $9,000. I launched a brand new business, first year in business, made $220,000. So if you take, let's just take a look at that for a sec. I'm going to grab my phone here real quick.
Okay.
So $220,000. Yeah. Minus my $9,000 back. So the profit was $211,000 divided by 9,000. That's a 2,344% return on investment.
Wow.
Where are you going to get that?
Wow.
Where are you going to get that? Right.
Yeah. That says so much.
Yeah. And then sometimes you sign up for stuff and you don't get anything. Right. So what you need to do is look at okay, what kind of a return on investment do I want to get? So for me, if I'm going to invest in a course, I would like to get 10 times what I put in. right? So if I
Okay.
invest $1,000,
Okay.
am I realistically going to get, $10,000 in profit from it? If I invest $10,000, I want to be able to get $100,000 in profit from it.
Sure.
Right? And this is for mentors, for programs, for team. Team, it's usually I want to get 3x whatever I'm paying them, because I want to keep my operating costs under 30%, ideally. So with that, you say, okay, what results do I realistically expect to get from this thing? And it's just your best guess based on the information that you have. But you're like, based on what I know, how confident do I feel that I'm going to get these results? And if I feel that I'm really confident getting these results and it's 10x what I'm putting in, like,
Yeah.
okay,
I'll do that. I'm going to make this
yeah, so
investment.
that's kind of how I look at it now.
Yeah. And as I was listening to you, I was thinking there are a lot of women out there who don't understand the mechanics of investing, not just in themselves, but in their business or in something else. Why do you think it's so important for women to invest? Not just in themselves, not just in the business, but just period. Because we don't always assume the risk to take the action to invest. So why do you think it's so important for women to do that?
You're gonna put me on my soapbox here a little bit, Wendy White, because
that's fine. I love it.
the thing is, like, the system that we're in, the game we're playing is the money market system, right? And in this system, if you think about the evolution of human history, like for most of human history, we have not had to invest and grow and protect our money. That has not been a thing. Humans are not naturally good at managing money because we haven't had to be. So we haven't really developed that yet. So in this money market system, in the last, 40 years, 50 years or so, we have become responsible for our own financial futures. Because just having a company and they're going to have a pension and that's going to take care of you, like, that's not the norm anymore. So now, since IRAs and 401ks and everything came out, you are responsible for your own financial future. But guess what? We're going to give you no resources or information or education on how to do that. Good luck. Right? So you're responsible and you have no support, because in school, if you have some level of formal education, what did they teach you about money? Probably not a lot. Maybe how to make change. I remember in third or fourth grade them teaching us how to make change.
Right. That's about it.
And even so it's like basically they're training you to work at McDonald's or in retail. That's about it. And then even in my professional education of getting my real estate broker's license, I learned how to calculate 6% because that's my commission. But like, where do you learn financial education? Specifically how to make, save, manage, invest, and protect your money. Those are the 5 areas. That's the outer game of money, specifically how to handle money. So if you don't learn how to do that, then you're going to have to depend on a spouse, a grown kid, a job, a government,
somebody else to teach you or tell you,
indefinitely. And this is kind of where there's a very common nightmare among women of like, oh my God, am I going to become a bag lady? But that's real, because even if you're married, 70% of women outlive their husbands. A really common scenario is the man goes into the nursing home, blows through their nest egg, and leaves the widow penniless.
Broke.
That's really common. And then even if you save and invest well, if you go to a traditional big box financial advisor, all of their products are designed for men. And so it doesn't take into account a woman's longer lifespan, difference in career path, difference in financial goals. And so women end up with less money at retirement, but it has to last them longer.
Right.
So the key is independent financial education. So to create an ongoing practice of saying, okay, I got my formal education, I got whatever professional education, now it's time for me to get a financial education. And it's just like an ongoing experience in my life. So continuing to learn how to make, save, manage, invest, and protect my money and get really good at that. So there you go.
Awesome. I don't mind you getting on your soapbox anytime, believe me. The question that popped into my head, and then we're going to take a break, but the question that popped into my head as you were talking, how many women found themselves in a difficult position when the country shut down due to COVID? And what do you say to the woman who's out there who is in that space of, oh my gosh, my savings is depleted, my husband died, I need financial education because I haven't had to because he did it. Like, what do you say to them?
Yeah, with all of this, like the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, but the second best time is now.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
you're
it's
like,
not too late. It's not
yeah,
too
no,
late.
it's not
Hmm.
because the thing is, financial freedom isn't an age, it's just a number. So you can create it at any time. If you look at, like Colonel Sanders, he was, I think, in his 70s when he started Kentucky Fried
Hmm.
Chicken. Grandma Moses was in her 90s when she started painting. So it's never too late to learn and start, right?
Yeah, I
So
love
even
it.
though going through the real estate crash was really hard and I wouldn't wish it on anybody, at the same time, like I continue to harvest these amazing lessons from it. And I
Hmm.
did learn how to do cash flow planning. And that's why as soon as COVID hit, I was like, oh my God, you guys, make sure you know how to plan cash flow.
Hmm.
And so I did free coaching, I did free classes. I was like, here's what you got to know. Like, make sure you know how to manage cash flow because when the
Yeah.
money's tight, it's really important. So one thing I would say is if money is tight right now, then it's really, really more important than ever to prioritize the income that is coming in. So first, food, then utilities, lights and water, then shelter, then transportation. So make sure that you take care of your basic human needs first with the money that
Hmm.
does come in
Hmm.
before you start paying for other stuff. Because
Yeah.
otherwise it might be that your credit card bill is paid on time, but you can't eat, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's amazing how that happens, and I didn't know this when I was losing my house. And so I was paying on my home equity line and my lights got turned off. It's
Hmm.
ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. Susie Orman says, I saw a clip of a video a couple of months ago, and she was like, don't pay your bills because you still got to eat, you still got to live, you still got to, so exactly what you're saying, exactly what you're saying. So thank you for that. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I want to hear your answers to the profitable wisdom segment. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, awesome.
Women entrepreneurs are stepping up big time.
We just got radically generous.
I can't charge money right now. I want to give my best resources for free to every woman. What we've been doing is free trainings in our Facebook group.
What inspired you to do this?
We just want to serve people.
We can create the magic over the internet. People need us now more than ever.
It all starts with a decision.
You are a brand new entrepreneur. Right now, it's easier to market online than ever.
Welcome to SGN.
Wendy Y here, and I want to extend my personal invitation to you to join the Profitable Coaching Society. It's a growing community of coaches, speakers, industry experts, and marketplace influencers just like you. Join the after party to connect with guests so you can continue the dialogue. They're waiting in the society to greet you. When you join, you're going to receive my special gift, the ultimate guide to profitable coaching conversations. Go to www.profitablecoachingsociety.com and I'll see you there. Okay, awesome. Welcome back, everyone. Penelope Jane Smith is going to be talking to us more through the Profitable Wisdom segment. It's the segment where I ask every guest a series of questions, and they share their insight, and you get to really benefit and grow from their responses. It's a great opportunity. So here we go. The first question is, who has had the greatest influence on you and your life?
Well, the truth, Wendy Y, is that this is a team effort, because I have had many mentors in many different areas. And so if I had to pick one that's had the biggest influence in the through line, it would have to be my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Yeah.
learned from her how to be like a compassionate, loving person, how to have great communication skills. And even though she never told me like, hey, you should be an entrepreneur, she was an entrepreneur. So she kind of led by example,
Awesome.
And when I first started my business, people, because our names were similar, people thought I was her or she was me. And
Yeah.
then as I grew in popularity and fame, then people started saying, wait, you're not her, So that's kind of a fun thing.
Okay, awesome. Awesome. What's the best business advice you've ever received? Yeah, I had to think hard about that one myself because these questions are questions that I get asked a lot. which is why I shared them.
So I'll share
There's a lot.
so much.
Yeah.
I'll share too. So I was speaking at an event in San Francisco and sharing the stage with Allie Brown, who's totally awesome. And I was doing this series called Secrets of Millionaire Business Owners. And I asked her if there's just one piece of advice you could share with other entrepreneurs, what would it be? And I really liked what she said, so it stuck with me. She said, make choices from where you want to be, not from where you are. Ask yourself, like, what would my future self do here? What would my future self want me to do?
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good, because I think sometimes we sit in spaces and go, well, I can't think that because I've never experienced it.
Yeah.
But if you project into where you want to be, then your answer is going to be different. Your response is going to be different.
Part of that, like one of my answers, is to avoid MWAs, which are minimum wage activities. So
I like it.
You are doing your own laundry, doing your own errands, preparing your own meals. Like a lot of that stuff can be delegated fairly inexpensively. You're giving somebody else the opportunity to earn money and support their family. Well, it's freeing you up to do higher level stuff. So even if you just start with like a few hours a week, that can really free you up to grow your business.
Very nice. Very nice. So what's the largest single sale that you ever made in your business, and what was the dollar amount, the circumstances, and what did you do to celebrate? So we can answer the first part. What was it? Biggest sale, largest single sale.
I'll talk about this, my coaching and seminar business, because real estate, that's like a whole other world, right? And mortgages,
Yeah.
So in this particular business, the largest single transaction was $50,000. And that was a one-on-one mentorship client. And she signed up at a live 3-day event that I was doing.
Awesome. Awesome. And did it shock you?
I felt very called to do this. So I had never offered a program quite like this before, but I felt so excited about it. I'm like, I want to do a real mentorship program where I'm really like, we are side by side. We are co-creating this together. Like I've got their back. It's not just like, oh, you get this many calls and,
Yes.
and then we're done. It's like, no, like I am
high value, high touch.
I am championing you and advocating for you and promoting you and like bringing you out to the world. And so I felt very, very excited to do that and called to do that. And what I've noticed, or what I believe, is that when you feel called to do something, there's somebody on the other end calling you. So I was like, okay, I feel called to do this. So someone wants this, and so when she jumped up and said she wanted to do it, I'm like, you're the one that's been asking for this, so that it didn't surprise me that much because I felt it so strongly. And when she said she was interested in doing it, I was like, that makes sense.
Yes. Yes. That's awesome. And what did you do to celebrate? Or did you?
It was so exciting to be able to work with somebody that way and deliver that program that the kind of the delivery of it felt like a celebration, if that makes any sense.
Yes. Like that was enough. The fact that it happened was enough of a celebration.
Yeah, I got to do it, and part of it was like doing a photo shoot with her and like doing her whole like brand image. I took her shopping. I took her on a shopping spree.
Wow. How fun.
It was so fun.
Yeah. How fun. Yeah. The experience that you created was amazing is what it sounds like. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So what has helped you when you thought of giving up in your business? Because we all do. There's some days that just hit you and, you're like, I'm done. What do you do? What have you done when you face that kind of scenario in your business?
Yeah, because I shared earlier that I like seriously thought about like, is there some way that I could kill myself that didn't look like suicide? Because I was thinking like, how could I die and have life insurance pay all these people back? So I've been like in the seriously, wanting to give up place. And what turned it around for me and what's turned it around every time since is taking the focus off of me and looking at how I can support other people. So while I was going through all of that, I saw the movie It's a Wonderful Life, where this guy gets to see like what would the impact on the community be if he hadn't been there, if he had died. Right. And I was just like, oh my God, and we never know the impact we have on another person until we do. And so I think like, okay, if I'm still here, then it must be because I'm here to serve and it's going to make a difference in people's lives. And if I'm not showing up, they're not going to get the healing, the teaching, the, whatever it is that they need. And so how can I help someone else? And taking the focus off of me, putting it onto somebody else and how I can serve, that's got me out. And even when COVID hit, I had to cancel my live event 7 days before it was scheduled to happen.
Wow.
Which was really intense because I'm like, as long as you got one person registered, you never cancel an event. You always show up and deliver. And I was like, but there's a pandemic and so it was like, really like this kind of struggle, but I decided to do it, and that was hard, and it was, geared to be probably.
So you did it? Wow.
No, I didn't do it live. I'm sorry.
You did it, but you turned it into virtual.
I did cancel my event. So that was hard because I was expecting probably, $100,000 in sales from that weekend at the time. And I was just immediately like, okay, how can I show up and serve people? Like, let's not even worry about the lost revenue. What can I do to still give my team some money? What can I do to still support people? And so I started doing, free community coaching calls and, the cash flow plan trainings I was talking about, and just like everything I could do to show up and support. I gave 90% off my home study course and then donated all the proceeds to people who were impacted by COVID. And I just figured, let's just help people. If I help enough people, I'm going to be okay, because I learned that from what I went through in the real estate crash.
Yeah. Wow, there's so much yumminess that you share with folks. I'm just like, I'm listening and I'm going, this is really going to help some people, Penelope Jane. I really believe that. Last question, and then we'll take another break and we'll come back with your parting thoughts. What has been your greatest personal accomplishment outside of your business?
Oh my gosh.
I think I know the answer to this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'd have to say, manifesting my first baby.
Yes, I knew that's what you were going to say.
Yeah, like all my life I saw myself having a child, and there I was in my late 30s and no partner in sight, and I really wanted to start a family, and I did. And so Gabriel, my little angel, is now 3 years old, and he's just like the cutest thing ever. And
he is.
It's like in The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy goes from seeing everything in black and white to seeing everything in color. It's just like a whole different world. I have so much more capacity for love for like not only him, but like everyone in my life and everyone on the planet. That's
amazing.
Really like
he's a cute little person too. He's adorable.
Yes.
And he's got your personality too. Do you think that?
Well, he definitely has my love of languages and scholastic aptitude, and he's led a couple dance breaks at events, so it wouldn't surprise me if he decided to start his own seminar company later.
I love it. Go Gabriel. I love it. I do. So we're going to take a break. Thank you so much for answering those very personal questions, and we'll come back and you'll share your parting thoughts. If you're a coach, speaker, industry expert, or marketplace influencer, selling must be something that you master to grow your business. Wendy Y here, and I've got just the thing you need. Supersize Your Selling is a 7-day sales challenge. Throughout the 7 days, I help you to grow confident in your ability to sell. I help you understand your personal strengths as a sales leader so that you can leverage them to be authentic in your selling. I also help you identify the fear of rejection that's keeping you from asking for the sale and help you overcome that with ease. I throw in a script for you that's entirely written out for you that you can begin to practice and make your own. And you also have the rare opportunity to have a coaching session with me as part of the sales challenge. So go on over to supersizeyourselling.com and sign up today, and I look forward to your growing confidence as a sales leader. Wendy Y here, and I want to extend my personal invitation to you to join the Profitable Coaching Society. It's a growing community of coaches, speakers, industry experts, and marketplace influencers just like you. Join the after party to connect with guests so you can continue the dialogue. They're waiting in the society to greet you. When you join, you're going to receive my special gift, the ultimate guide to profitable coaching conversations. go to www.profitablecoachingsociety.com, and I'll see you there. Okay, so welcome back. We have been talking in this episode with Penelope Jane Smith, who is a financial freedom mentor and expert. I'm going to give her the expert title because I think she's a real pro at it. And I love that she serves women entrepreneurs and helping them become financially free. We've been talking, having a great dialogue. There's a lot of stuff we've talked about, Penelope. So what's a parting thought? What's the one thing you want to leave our viewers and listeners with that they can take and do something with right away?
The biggest thing I would say is the habit of managing your money is more important than the amount. So much of this is behavioral. 80% of financial success is behavior, not like how to,
Right. How much money you have and how to do. Yeah.
So I encourage you to, get started in looking at your money and investing, even if it's just like $1, $5, $10. I went to a concert in San Francisco a few years ago with my husband, and this guy sat next to me. He turns around and goes, "You're PJ," because PJ is my nickname.
Okay.
And I was like, yes, I am. He's like, "Oh my God, I went to your workshop. You told me the habit of managing my money was more important than the amount. I started putting aside $5, $10, and now I have tens of thousands of dollars saved. I've never saved this much money in my entire life. It's like totally amazing." And I'm like, you know what? That is so cool. And that is not the only story like that. So I encourage you to start wherever you are with whatever you got and keep going, because your future self's really going to thank you for that.
Awesome. Awesome. Penelope Jane Smith, thank you so much for being on Profitable Coaching Conversations. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Awesome. So thanks everybody for being here. We'll be back in just a second. I want to invite you guys to participate and join the Profitable Coaching Society. Details are in the links below. Thanks again, everybody. I'll see you soon. Okay, so let's come back. Penelope, you've got a gift for everyone. Tell us a little bit about it.
So I put together a really beautiful short ebook called The Financial Freedom Formula. So if you download that for free on my website, it'll tell you exactly what you need to know to become financially free, and for you specifically, including the 2 different types of passive income and how to get more of each. So if you're interested in increasing your financial education and moving forward towards creating financial freedom for yourself, then that's definitely a great next step.
Awesome. What a great gift. What a great gift. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for tuning into Profitable Coaching Conversations with Wendy Y. Bailey. Be sure to join us at the after party at www.profitablecoachingsociety.com. We'll see you next time for more sales and marketing wisdom and insight from Wendy Y. and her amazing guests. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you know when new episodes are posted.